pocket. Got him.
I actually love that punchline.
She did. That's always a crowd pleaser. You get
Oh,
your
that's a
mother-in-law
good
with
one.
that one every time.
Exactly.
It never fails.
That's a Thanksgiving dinner.
That's
joke.
a good Thanksgiving. Speaking of which, not speaking of that, I don't know why I said that. Is this the season
what grinds
finale?
my gears?
Is this the season finale of the Handsome Hour? Are we doing one Monday after the IU
absolutely.
game?
We're going Monday after.
Are we?
We have to.
Oh,
Got to
yeah.
wrap up this football season.
Wrap up this.
We
We
beauty.
have to. We have to.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to wrap up this football season?
Yeah.
Woof.
Fun.
Woof. Mercy.
I don't know. I'm a little. I'll be the foil here. I think I'll be the foil.
Having a good time this year, are
upbeat.
you? Enjoying yourselves?
Man, I don't know the last time that I've seen a defense that I actually kind of believe in. Like a Purdue defense that I actually feel like, hey, there's something here other than
Their asses off too.
dumb luck.
No, I know though. I mean, they had really good defenses when Tiller was there.
Yeah, I mean, but that was 20 years ago.
That's a long
Yeah,
time
that was
ago.
a long time
That was
ago.
20 years ago. That was my childhood. Those were my childhood teams that got me to
I'm
love
trying to think. Is there
football.
another one?
No,
since
I mean,
Tiller?
there have been ones that have popped up.
Brahms' first season, they were pretty good, but it was
Yeah.
surprisingly-
With Bentley. Good.
It popped up here and there, but there is no
Defense won games that year, Anish. That's legit.
If Purdue had a win because of the defense, it was always because of one superhuman effort, right?
Yeah,
One
one play,
superhuman
yeah.
ability, whether it was Kerrigan or whatever. This is when was the last time we had a defense full of people that can tackle without the people bouncing off of them, right?
I would say that's the most fun thing about this season is watching them get better because they were not good at the beginning of the season.
No.
The defense wasn't, but the offense was better than they are now.
Yeah, I mean that's not
that's-
great.
That's
Well,
not-
and
it's not
but
good.
there's the other on the other side of this, we definitely need to see there's nothing that shows that the offensive explosions are any more than just random. As much as random
Right.
as good defensive performances were in previous regimes, right?
Yeah.
But the other side of this is what point of continuity was there at all in the offense, for the offense at all? What could they build from? What is in an experiment, you hold one thing constant and you measure as you change one thing.
They had the same
Cards
quarterback
Cards
every
played
game. Yeah, until
11
last
games
game.
or 10
Yeah.
games.
He's played and that is why it's we need to see more, but that's why
Maccabees
the
played in
last
every game.
The last game,
Hartwig played in the last 6.
what was it, 2 back-to-back 300-yard rushing games for Purdue for the first time since the 60s or something like that?
Yeah. That's cool.
A little bit out of necessity. This week.
Absolutely out of necessity.
It probably should have been more, given the quarterbacks that were there.
Well, or you could argue it should have been less because how could Northwestern have thought anything else was coming besides creative runs?
The problem Purdue has offensively, and it is a real problem, is you score this few points, it's going to be tough to have long-term success. And it's just not modern college football. It really isn't. Even Illinois, when they had a good defense, it's not enough. Not enough.
Right. Every 4 or 5 games, there's an outburst of 40 points. That's what you can count on from this team.
Right. So they're not due for one.
They're not due. No, sadly.
1 or 2 more games.
Second or third game next season. They'll
Right.
Points.
Yeah, that's tough. Are you excited about the bowl game? We'll all be there.
The bowl game?
Oh yeah, sure.
Did you call it the bowl game on purpose?
I did. No, I did not. It is. That's funny though. Bucket bowl.
I am thrilled about the Bucket Bowl because I hate IU. Right. Because I want them to lose. I think
they lose though. The chance of Tom Allen being gone is up. It goes up a little bit. He still was it 12 million buyout? Can somebody say in December?
No, I think it's still 20.
In December it goes down.
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna look this up again. I think they have it written.
But in this,
how the hell did the buyout stay the same for more than 12 months?
If Tom Allen was to be fired without cause following the 23 season, Indiana would still owe him more than $20 million, as per the IU Star.
It's incredible.
Do they tell you a date though? Because I mean, that could be December. Most contracts.
I got you. Yeah. Firing without cause. It drops a ton. He has one more year. it says December 1st. Well, it says December 1st, 2023.
Right.
What does that mean? By then, after then?
After
So it says
then.
20.8 million. December 1st, 2024, 7.95 million. I think he's got
A whole year.
I think
he's
so.
got a whole year.
That is the best contract ever.
We should get that at
dang,
World Sports. What's my buyout, guys?
Yeah, I keep waiting to get in a negotiation. Someone just called
20
me.
million.
Okay.
There's no way they're going to fire him and eat $20 million. No chance. Because they've actually shown heart and they've fought hard. He does get that team to fight and play hard. You can't say they've quit.
Oh yeah.
So they went into Wisconsin and won. Like what is that? How's that possible?
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
They haven't beaten Ohio State since what, the 60s or something?
Well, I was gonna say it makes as much sense as our winning streak or our winning record against Ohio State, but like
Right.
I forget who else has a terrible. Was it Minnesota against Ohio State? No, theirs is only like 20 years. Oh no, it's more. It's more than Purdue's against Wisconsin. Minnesota hasn't beaten Ohio State since like 2000.
Is that true?
Something ridiculous like that. They were talking about it during the game this weekend. Yeah. 2000 or 2002 or you know what it was? It was that Fickle year when they went 6-6. That was the last time Minnesota beat them. I think that maybe 02, 03, something like that.
I didn't know that year was later because that was after
Was it?
Tressel. Yeah, that was after Tressel.
Okay. Well,
And
if only
I
we
think
had a way to
Fickle
look
still.
this up.
I think Fickle still. If only we had an infinite knowledge machine. I think Fickle still
That'd be
beat
awesome to
him.
have one
But
of those.
yeah, no, I like this because, so, like we were saying this, like Hud probably has, or is it confirmed that he has broken ribs? Is that?
I don't think
I thought somebody said he had cracked ribs. Somebody in the Purdue
just
state
cracked,
controlled
not
media.
broken,
Cracked.
not
full.
it's different. It's
Okay.
like your knuckles.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
2000. Sorry, let me just circle back to that. October of 2000 was the last time Minnesota beat Ohio State, and it was in Ohio. It was in Ohio, in Columbus. The last time they won. Holy smokes!
That was probably when they had they had those really good running backs at Minnesota. They had that tandem that both played in the NFL.
This is gonna blow your mind.
And Glenn Mason's veneers.
The last time they won in Minnesota was in 1981. Like that one doesn't get reported as much. I don't think they've won one game since 1981 against Ohio State. How's this possible? Is this internet broken? This doesn't seem possible. I thought they'd won the Axe. They don't play for the Axe? No, they play Wisconsin for the Axe.
They play.
Yeah.
They play Paul.
It's a wooden axe. It wouldn't cut anything, by the way. That axe is going to break when you hit it against a sturdy oak. It's going to break right now. It's not going to drive
I
itself.
love hate week, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I bet. So he's got broken ribs. I bet if Purdue were playing IU, he probably would want to play now. Like he would have wanted to play this week, and he would have been closer.
Well,
My
They
conspiracy
said he's
theory.
likely.
My conspiracy theory is that they held him out of Northwestern because they got that Minnesota win. They got, one win off the thing. They needed him to get healthy, and they wanted the win against IU more. And so they held him out, and they're bringing him back for IU. Like this is my conspiracy theory. I'm like Charlie from Always Sunny connected.
Right. With the crazy, make no sense conspiracy
Pepe
theory.
Sylvia. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, he looked really injured a couple times in last week and or 2 weeks ago. So I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't call it a season. To say the truth.
That's what I'm shocked, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is there to gain? I guess are we saying is this Walter's staff and all of them saying the bucket matters? I'm fine if it does, but
Right.
and I guess
We
you
have
figure-
comments saying, "Why are we talking about football?" That's the show. The Handsome
This is a
Hour is about
football
football.
podcast.
The basketball beat is about basketball. My dad actually gave me a hard time. He said, "You guys talk a lot about basketball during your football show last week, and this week we're getting a hard time for people that are leading with football."
the
on a
moral
football
is
show.
you're going to get a hard time no matter what.
Right, exactly. Mostly from my dad, but
If the moral of this is that we're going to give you what we're going to give you,
Whatever we
and
feel like
we
giving
don't
you.
take. Yeah,
Exactly. And you're going to take it, and you're going to like it.
We're
You're gonna love
garbage
it.
disposal.
It's like
You're gonna love
pumpkin
it.
pie. I'm just going to smear it in your face, and you're going to love it.
do you like pumpkin pie?
I do. Do you? Is this another delicious thing you don't like? Yeah.
No.
Ew. Who would like
do.
cinnamon and sweet?
I mean, it
No,
is
it's like
just sugar.
someone chewed something and spat it in my mouth.
Yes,
the
correct.
texture is the problem.
Yes.
I'm
that's
sorry, your mom doesn't make good pumpkin pie.
No,
That's a shame.
that's the thing. Other people bring it and it sucks for them too. I just read the original pumpkin pie recipe has molasses in it instead of sugar.
Yeah.
So it's more of a fall-y taste. I think that might be
Sweet.
good.
Anish, can we agree that Brother Dad dislikes more sweet delicious treats than anyone we know. But he's very weird about disliking things that he claims
Specific.
to like.
It's always very specific.
No,
It's
what
a
I
full
dislike that
story.
wait.
You say you like Oreos, but you find
No,
you
I
can't
like
find a
I like
component.
thin Oreo.
You
Oreo
can't find a
thins.
component of a cookie quote
Here's-
gross and
here's
like
the-
the cookie.
I don't
That's
know.
my
It's just
problem.
the geometry.
Maybe it's my
it's the
problem.
ratio.
Geometry.
Just like on Twitter.
It's a cookie. It's always round.
Here's the thing with Boiler Down is that he never is like, meh, I don't like
No
that."
halfway.
If it's always there's a story. There's a
All
half
gas,
an
no
hour
breaks.
story, no matter what. I mean,
Speaking of hating things,
Oh,
hate
please,
week.
let's go. Hate week.
freaking
it's hate
hate.
week.
Hate Gonzaga.
I was gonna
It's-
say,
it's Boiler Down
Man,
hate week.
I just
was
feel
gonna
more
say-
happy about this win the more
I
I
was going to
think
say,
about it.
wait. I was going to say, is there a team you would like to see Purdue beat in basketball more than Gonzaga? Before you answer, including IU, is there a
Oof.
team you'd like? And I have a prediction. I'm going to go ahead and answer for you. Tell me if this is right. I want to show how much I know you.
Okay.
I'm going to say, if I forced you to choose, you have to beat Gonzaga or Indiana. I think what you would say is, I would rather beat Indiana, but I would enjoy beating Gonzaga more.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing. I'll go further towards the Gonzaga camp. With this coaching staff, I don't hate IU as much as I used to. In fact, like with Bobby Knight's passing, I will mention his name now since we had a
Is
ban
there-
on
is
that
there a
for weeks,
moratorium?
which is
Did- I'm
awesome.
sorry,
Years.
Did something happen with him? I
Right.
don't know.
But like seriously, that his dying and the comment section of different videos and things remind me how much I hated that brand of fan. They're the problem, right? That's the big thing. They're
Well,
the problem.
I'm
It's like
having-
Gonzaga. The reason I hate Gonzaga is
Here it is.
ESPN.
I-
It's ESPN. Screw you, ESPN, on my TV right now.
Giving them ratings.
Yeah, exactly. Me helping them out. Actually, right now it's FS1 because there's basketball on there. So
There you go. In your face, ESPN.
yeah, stuck on.
He has to take
ESPN.
his glasses off to see.
Well,
it,
these
though,
are
'cause
cheating.
the-
These aren't even real. These are readers. So,
Oh. Teddy
but they're
Roosevelt
they're
joining
my
us.
prescription readers with my astigmatism, which is really weird. But I tried something different.
Have
I like
you,
to-
have
I
you
like to
tried
mix it up.
inhaler or something? Or oh, is that not what that means? I'm sorry.
No, not that this time. So, yeah.
So you would hate. You would rather. So what's the answer? You'd rather beat Gonzaga more? That's more.
So it's like this. Honestly, it's probably Gonzaga. IU barely edges out Duke right now, but Duke with Krzyzewski was higher than Gonzaga.
Really,
Wow.
Yeah.
because it never happened,
It happened.
did it?
Yeah, in Alaska in like
Oh, that's like 2000.
2003. Is
Yeah.
that what we?
The Great Alaskan Shootout. Is that
Yes,
what it was?
it was like
Yeah.
at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
There's no footage of it. It's
Right. It exists, but there's no proof. Yes. Yeah. So,
Well-
but like seriously, like it. That's
Purdue has handled Gonzaga like every time they've played them. That's the other.
they're
fun
doing
thing.
what I thought they should always do. You should beat mid majors.
I caught that in your post game. I caught
was
that
good.
little.
That was
dig.
good.
I caught
That's very nice.
Always beat mid majors, man. Just handle your business against
everybody.
lower
Listen,
teams.
it's me with Kirk Ferentz teams. It's Jay Money with Scott Frost. We all have our obsessions. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
had
I
a
just-
you've had a Gonzaga for 20
Oh,
years.
it's a long time. Ever since ESPN fell in love with him, I started hating him. And the fact that every year we hear the same bullshit during the winter, too. How amazing they were. Play somebody.
They do their best.
They do their
play in the
best. They
non-con.
don't have to be in that conference. You know how many times they've been asked to go someplace else?
They
How
don't
many
have
times they've
football.
turned it down? Because they like being a whale in this tiny
so
pond.
The biggest thing is that it was never, not to defend Gonzaga,
Oh,
but
that
it was
sounds like you're
it
about
never
to.
made sense, or they were never given
Careful.
the opportunity to join the pack, whatever it is.
They can. They don't football.
Exactly.
The Mountain West came to them multiple times. That's a decent conference.
It
It's
is.
not very good. I mean, like it's still
Also,
no good.
football's still an issue, isn't it? In any of these
It's okay.
situations.
They're going to be.
Yes,
a Big
they're-
East
but they
team or
gave they
whatever.
said they give them
Big East.
exceptions because they're Gonzaga and let's fall at the effing altar of Gonzaga.
Have you ever seen the
Gosh,
Have you ever seen the tournament bracket for their conference tournament? It's
Yeah.
if you
Oh
haven't,
yeah.
hilarious.
It's 14 buys. Basically,
like-
for number one.
Yes.
it's like everybody else plays for the right to play Gonzaga.
Play Gonzaga, exactly.
Really.
And usually St.
Yeah.
Mary's.
It
and
is,
Whoever's
it is.
that's
St. Mary's
exactly
and
what it
Gonzaga,
is.
yeah, are
Gonzaga
at the top.
Invitational.
And I don't know if it's. I guess it would always be that way. The 1 and 2 get like passed all the way to the end,
Right.
but it's just always Gonzaga at the top. So
Yeah.
You know, they maybe they can join the ACC. because everybody else on the West Coast does.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. I was there. Who's scheduled
The
did I
Pac
pull up?
ACC.
I pulled up some schedule. Maybe it was football. Maybe it was Louisville's season next year or something like that. And it had like Cal on there randomly. And I was like, oh, yeah, Cal is an ACC team now.
Oh, of
It's a
course.
conference game.
What are we doing? What
The
are we
long
doing?
rivals.
Meanwhile, Washington and Washington State are going to play in
That's great.
mid-September.
That's great.
See, this
In
is
mid-September, which is going to be a little weird. Like if you Purdue played IU, and you'd still have fun, I guess, but it'd be better because you'd be healthy.
Yeah.
well, so the comparable here is Iowa State. They
Yes.
always play it like the third game of the season, and I think all of them hate it because it's like either your season is great or done
Right.
by week 3 because you've lost to your rival, the only rival.
Put a bronze comment real quick, Anish. That's funny.
Yeah. The coast,
Just the Coast Conference. Just the Coast Conference. That's awesome.
But isn't there somebody in it in like Texas or something?
Yeah.
SMU.
Are they near the Gulf? There's a
SMU
coast nearby.
is
That's a good
SMU
point.
is within 12
It's in
hours.
Dallas.
Yeah,
Dang
it's
it.
like a
How big
12-hour
can
drive
Texas
to go.
be?
It's large.
Oh,
It's
it
nice.
is. I hear.
Maybe they're on the coast of a lake or something.
Right.
That'll count.
Oh yeah, Kansas. Happy Race points out that Kansas is playing Chaminade. Well, somebody has to play Chaminade, dude. Like Kansas.
Why does it have to be number 1 playing Chaminade?
And hey,
Is
listen,
that a bye, pretty much? Is that what that is?
Hey, Tennessee got Syracuse. That was also a bye. Let's not excuse that.
Yeah, yeah.
They
This is
are
not the
trash.
old Syracuse.
Oh, they
It's
have
still a
been-
hell of a. It's still a hell of a tournament, though.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
a great
it's
tournament.
the
in-
programs
it's-
that are there.
I mean, it may be
Marquette?
the best. It
Marquette's
may be the
good.
best like invitational on paper that has ever been put together. I don't know if there are this
Preseason,
many
yeah.
top 15. But then like UCLA is right outside the top 25, and they're the second worst team in this bracket, or no, third, I suppose, Chaminade. But
Well, yeah,
Um,
you take Chaminade out of that.
yeah, but for
You
a
guys have
second-
seen this bracket, by the way, haven't you? Because they want to make sure everybody gets enough
Like-
games since they're coming all the way out to the middle of the Pacific.
Well, so
yeah,
it's
it goes
one of those-
both ways.
It goes both ways. Well, that's like you.
Like,
easy.
going there, you beat
I
me
knew
there.
it.
I knew you
beat
were
me
going
there.
to.
I was darn it. I was
You
going
set
for
it
it.
up.
I wasn't
I know.
quick enough.
Well, but no, really,
I'm
all
mad
of
at
these, all
myself.
of these do that. That's what the one that I did it the Bahamas one does the same thing. So like you can be 0-3 and you still or
Well,
0-2, I guess.
Purdue,
if you're playing
Purdue
big-
was 0-2 that
Purdue
year,
was
right?
0-2 in that one. They played also 0-2
In the
Arizona
big boy mowers.
Arizona
and
so
destroyed them. That was a Sean Miller team that I think came in at like 2 in the nation or 4 or something,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
got mowed down by the big boy mowers.
Big boy
bad
mowers.
boys. Bad boy mowers.
I like it big boy better.
Big boy mowers is good too.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, that is a weird. That is a weird. I don't know. I think I'd rather go to Hawaii than that one.
You think?
It seems like a real stadium. I mean, that's a first.
And
Yeah,
the
you're
thing
not
is-
playing at a ballroom.
The Hawaii thing, though, it's so expensive to get there, to get
Oh.
into the games, and yet, I see empty seats, and I see drunken Purdue fans that don't look
Dude,
any
Purdue
different.
fans,
to us.
I gotta say, because we've got a friend of BS there, and I say we do. You could guess. I'll give you one guess who it is.
Is he
but we're not-
there?
Yes, he's there.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was going to
Um,
ask.
yeah, it's awesome. He's a great fan. He's a
He is.
generous man. But the
Correspondent.
yeah, they're the Purdue fans are bringing it there. When Purdue started
Yes.
making that run, dude, they were
Yes.
noisy. That's great.
I don't know if you know this. Purdue fans are pretty hungry for things.
Ah,
Yeah,
Pretty hungry for some
Yeah.
success.
Yep.
just,
And this is just
just one run, man.
these
How
couple
about
of years.
The dam
well,
would break.
but it's also buoyed. I'll use a big Bowie word.
weed.
By the 19 run
So stupid.
coming within seconds of the final
Ah,
Final
so
Four
close.
makes a difference, though, right? It changes your
Yeah.
perspective to where the only reason Purdue fans are still upright at this point after the last couple of seasons is
Has
because
anything
that's
happened?
still in the recent memory. You're like, no, there is another weekend. I know Fran McCaffrey doesn't know that, but there is another weekend of the tournament.
It's
No.
unbelievable. It's my favorite stat in sports.
26 years, Anish. 26 seasons.
How
He's
is
been a
it-
head
how?
coach
That
of a
can't be
Division One
possible.
program, and he's gone to the tournament in the vast majority of his
Yeah,
seasons. That's the
he's a
other thing.
good coach. It's so like he's good. I didn't say he was great. I'd say he's a perfectly good,
Doesn't
a
believe in
perfectly
defense.
Iowa coach. It is exactly who should be at Iowa. It's not going to be too good.
Do you think
it's
so,
not gonna
or do
be
you
too
think
bad.
Iowa fans are like, is this really what we? Because
Oh.
you've got the football program.
I
that
think they're
always-
happy with him.
Oh,
You
if
think
I-
so?
If
If
I were an
Twitter, well,
Iowa
Twitter
fan,
isn't
I would
isn't
jump
real
on it.
life. We all know that. But If social media had anything to do with real life,
It
they're,
does.
they're fine with him, I
And,
think.
and Iowa, that basketball program doesn't matter. They don't care about it. They don't really invest in it. It doesn't really. I mean, like they invest in it as much as
Yeah,
you know.
I
yeah,
guess.
Nebraska invests in basketball too, so it's like maybe a
Well,
little
I
more,
mean,
but
by that comparison, it's
Yeah,
far more
exactly.
successful because they're almost always in the tournament.
yeah,
They challenge for the
it's a
Big
good
Ten.
coach. It's a good coach. It is stunning that a perfectly average to good coach, a perfectly above average, let's call him above
Yeah, above
average
average
coach,
is fair.
Wins a lot
has
of games.
never been to the second weekend of the tournament. It boggles
It's
the mind.
wild.
This was my
And it's
Iowa
never talked
ISO.
about. And it's never talked about.
It's just
I think we're the only ones that talk about it.
Yeah, it's really weird. There's
I've
not
never
a,
heard
there's-
it brought up because, again,
you brought
media.
it up to me, and I was like, there is no
You're
way.
like, he lying.
You're like, I got to
Nope.
audit this. There's no way this hasn't
He
happened.
coached at Siena.
He goes to
Siena had
Siena, and
good
you would
years.
think they must have done a run to the
Sure,
Sweet 16. Sure, that happened. It probably beat Purdue.
Right? No, Purdue knocked them off in the
No, I
one,
know.
one chance they had
The
to do
That
it.
was a bit.
Jawan
That was a-
Johnson's coming out party. The Jawan Johnson's game where he was actually a player. That was great. His freshman year, I think. That
Speaking
was
of Purdue
Siena.
bigs from the past, Boiler Dad had lunch with AJ Hammonds just the other day, didn't he?
Well,
awesome.
so
No, you
the
didn't, I know.
no, I was eating breakfast and he walked through looking for a breakfast order at Panera, and then he left. And then 2 weeks later, my brother actually did hang out with him. I mean, those pictures are pretty funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, he is thin, guys. He's
Yeah.
thin. He
Well-
didn't gain any weight after his playing career like some athletes do. It
We'll say-
maybe when
we'll
you're
say-
7 feet tall, it's a little different, right? It's not like being a offensive lineman or an ex halfback. You know, it's he's leaned out.
So we can sandwich this. We started with football, and we'll the middle
back.
meaty part will be basketball, and then
tasty
we'll
part.
have a tiny little piece of bread that's football at the end. So
We should end it with basketball, though. I think we should bring back basketball and talk about what's next. Maybe.
It's like a Big
Yeah,
Mac. It's
maybe.
got like
Yeah.
a bun,
There you
go.
meat,
Layers.
bun, meat. Yeah.
Yep.
I've never had a
Which
Big
part's
Mac.
the lettuce is
Neither.
probably we probably
Never
already
seen
started
that.
eating it. Just talking about a loss last week. Lettuce,
like
the lettuces.
It seems like half a loaf of bread. I would not.
It does. It does.
doesn't
That's why
look
I've never
that
had it.
Well,
appetizing.
I
get
can
a
tell you that
double
I
or
never
a
would
quarter
eat any of
pounder.
that stuff because I don't like sauces and things I didn't like them until I was into my 20s. But a Big Mac with everything on it is pretty tasty.
You
And
don't
so
like sauces?
I didn't. I do now. Now I love sauces. That's the thing. As a fat man, they're essential. They're like water.
I know what he's getting at. I don't like. I like to control the sauces on my food.
Yeah, you don't want to overpower.
I don't want a gigantic mess of.
And he's just
slop.
very offended by this.
I
It looks
get
like
it. I get. I'm a saucy boy, so I like the sauces.
sassy. Or
Yeah,
saucy?
he's a
and
sassy
both.
boy, isn't
Yes,
he?
both and. But I've never heard the sentence "I didn't like sauce until I was 20." I think there's a combination of words in the English language that I've gone 35 years without hearing.
I said too much sauce a lot when I was younger. Is what I'm saying, Anish. Just like a great next Purdue. not
Speaking of
great, but an
bigs
ex Purdue
that
basketball
have
player.
lost a lot of weight, Zach looks really skinny. Like,
think?
and
Skinny?
there were like stories about him kind of losing something like 30 pounds, like trying to get more laterally quick, like training, like knowing that that's the next
Right.
stage for the NBA. I wonder if just his center
Like
of
Joker,
gravity-
be real lean like him.
Oh, he is incredible. It's like watching a walrus be the best
It
basketball
totally
player on
is.
earth.
That's
It's-
very, very good.
He is so
Handling the
much
ball
better.
with those big flippers.
Like before, it was like, oh yeah, it's like Embiid, Jokic, Giannis. One of those three is the best basketball player in the world. Then it was like, oh, it's Giannis or Jokic. Like both of them, you could go either way. And now it's like Jokic is so much better. That Walrus
Better than
is-
Giannis?
He is
So much better? Did you
he
just
is
say?
so much better than Giannis, than everybody else on planet Earth at basketball? It stuns me. It stuns me. You watch him.
I watch him
he
play. It
has-
doesn't make any sense. I'll be
it's-
real honest.
It
Makes
doesn't
no
make
sense to me.
any sense. It's like anti-gravity. It's like it doesn't nothing. How does this work? I don't know.
Isn't he-
Anyway.
Like, isn't he the exact opposite when you say we want an NBA player? Isn't he
Yeah.
like physically the exact opposite?
I mean, he's
Big
big,
and
he's
doughy and-
plodding.
Right.
Yeah, well, he looks big and doughy, but he's pretty mobile. He's got the best hands in the league. He's the best passer in the league.
I don't
He's one of the
understand how
best
people can't
shooters in
stop
the
him, but
league.
he can like put them on skates.
He does.
Wild.
He's in defense now. He's gotten to be in perfect position, and he's also smarter than everybody else. So he like plays passing lanes and stuff.
And then
like
he
that.
mocks the NBA, which
Yeah.
is awesome. Like
It
I'm with
doesn't
him
make-
there.
It doesn't make any sense.
He just wants to go home.
Zach. I
Yeah, he
wanted
just wants to go
Zach
home.
to be his backup.
I
Like
would love
that's kind of where
Oh
I
my
wanted him
gosh.
to land. That would be so fun. But he wanted it. So first, it seemed like Zach wanted to kind of lose weight to gain lateral quickness,
Yeah.
to be a better defender, which I do think that he's actually doing. Like, I mean, he's affecting more shots and covering more ground.
He had 3 blocks in the
has
first
last
half, right?
Yes, I mean, and some of them were from way further out than even he got last year, right? I
Yeah,
mean, like he was
yeah.
way further out of position and recovered.
Yeah.
But then the second part of it is something that we weren't expecting, I think, was, and Michael said in the group chat, like, hey, maybe Matt Painter is good at this coaching thing,
Yeah.
and scouting thing. Like, maybe they knew with the arrival
Why
of
didn't he
Lance
do it in
Jones-
March, guys?
But maybe he knew with the arrival of Lance Jones, with the
Sorry.
arrival of Miles Colvin, with Cam Heidi playing, they are going to run this year. Like, and he needs to be ready for that. And it seems like he is ready to play faster paced. And it's like
Yeah.
that is so clear. The flip side of that is that it seems like his post shot is less stable right now. Like it seems like
He
he's
said,
off.
did you hear him after the game? He said,
No,
I
I
slowed down because I was going too fast. And I agree. It looked like he was just trying to get the ball out of his hands. Split second too fast, right? Last year, he was a lot more patient, waiting for that thing to come, waiting to get the guy on the right side of him before he shot that baby hook. He's missed that a lot. He was 36% in the first half. And he finished the game shooting 50%. Tells you how good he was in the second half.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, I sent a text to a friend of mine. He's also a Purdue alum. And I said, keep in mind, Purdue just beat the 11th best team in America with Edey playing pretty terribly in the half. And he said, he was 50% and he scored 25 points.
It's insane. What a bad
And we're
game
saying
from Zach Edey.
and I'm not the only one who said pretty bad, but I guess
I'll say, I mean, it was a bad, like he
It was
could,
not
again,
bad game, bad
Stop.
first half.
Stop.
but again, yeah, not a bad game. I should
Right,
say,
bad
yes,
first
a
half.
bad first
Yeah.
half. You're right.
Yeah.
But like even in the first half, he had about half of what he still had like 11 and 8 or something like that, or like 12 and 8.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like how he's really good. He's really good at this. And then he goes to the line and hits them. And that's the other thing is like, those fouls that he's racking up in the first half are going to take, are going to improve things in the second half.
Yeah.
Any concern from you guys? Since everyone wants us to talk about basketball, there's something to be concerned about. Shooting 4 of 17 from deep for 23.5%. Bother you guys at all?
Ugly.
There's a line from, you guys have both seen Moneyball, right? The Brad Pitt vehicle. About
I think I know
there's
where
a
you're
great
going.
line in there
I
when
love it.
there's a great line when he's trying to get people to think differently and stop talking about players.
Right.
And he's like, so you think this guy's a good hitter? And he's like, yeah. He's like, well, if he's a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good? And to me, that's the same
Yep.
concept
That's it
here.
with
If
this
you
team,
think they're
yeah.
good 3-point shooters, why don't they shoot 3-pointers good? Because they don't.
They
don't.
do not.
Like
and the alarming part of this to me, and here's the flip side of this is Gonzaga is a
Should
good
be.
shooting team. Gonzaga, like score like Dowd said earlier, like in the pregame podcast, they were scoring in the 90s. They weren't playing anybody, but they were still putting points
Right.
up. Like they couldn't buy a 3-pointer.
They couldn't.
Here.
But they shot 32 in niche, and Purdue only fired up 17, and that is a difference from like.
It's the other difference is that I hate this. I hate that I'm about to do this. I hate that I'm about. See, this is I hate
Talk
this.
about the tournament. Come on.
The tournament happens in strange venues. And maybe what is weird about this is that it's a strange venue and it's not quite what they're used to. Maybe it's sight lines, maybe whatever. But like, I know.
Not in
That doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah.
Doesn't
good,
make me
Mackie.
feel good.
He needs to go out there and measure them like Coach Gene Hackman.
Yes,
did.
exactly. Make the
Good
point.
10
Hey,
feet.
maybe-
Doesn't matter.
Maybe Miles Colvin can because that dude
Miles
is.
Colvin
I
is
mean,
unafraid.
he's
So
gonna
here,
hit
so
the
people
wall
are calling
like a
for
freshman.
Colvin to start. I'm going to be countercultural here and say, no. You want him exactly where he is right now.
Right.
He
Sure.
Microwave.
needs time. Yep. He needs time. He needs not having pressure. I think this is exactly what he needs. He's not there yet. By the way, he may get there by January, February.
Oh,
Sure.
Man, it looks like he's coming on to me. Like But he's still out of position every now and again, where he's way out of position, does something where you're like, it looks like he's gonna like flail and fall into the crowd. Almost every game it happens one time.
He's
right?
skinny. He's small. He's still small, right?
But bigger than that, it seems like there are just some movements of the offense that he's totally confused by, and that's okay.
And on the other side, like defensively, like you said, like there was a kind of a backdoor cut in the second half that he just completely fell asleep on. And Purdue had 4 really good, really active defenders that weren't. What's funny about Painter teams, and especially these teams, is that well, relax, that's not funny.
Sorry,
it's not funny to me.
Not for us.
It's not funny to me at all.
It's sad.
What's funny about these teams is that when Zach doesn't have it going offensively, he plays harder defensively. Like he's trying to make up for it. On the
He's
other
getting
side.
pissed, man.
Yeah.
You could see it tonight. He was mad a couple times at some calls that he wasn't getting. By the way, if only he was player of the year, maybe he'd get calls.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Even against Xavier too. I mean, that's the thing that Xavier and
What gives here? Seriously. When does the favorable treatment come?
is that Xavier
What does he have to do?
Gonzaga
Become president of the United States?
Well, he can't. He can be Prime Minister of Canada, maybe.
Right. That's a good point. And he's not old enough either. So even if there was a
you know, it's just
Prime Minister of Canada, that's right around the door. He's big in Canada.
He can do it.
Big here.
There were both Gonzaga and Xavier have big like physical front lines, and they aren't afraid to play. The entire team isn't afraid to play physical with Zach, and they're not going to call it every time. They're not going to call it every time that there's a foul.
They're not going to call it most times. Let's be.
He did get mad on that one where he got hammered by 3 guys, and then he goes down the floor and he goes like,
yes,
and one.
Yep.
Yep. I don't blame him. I mean, he's a pretty easygoing guy. It takes a lot.
You know what? When he played internationally, they actually had whistles that made sense. Now they're back to this bull crap.
We do have to talk about the backcourt stars. I think the 2 people that need to be sharpied in every meaningful lineup that Purdue basketball plays alongside Zach Edey. Braden Smith has been unbelievable this year so far.
Steady.
That mid-range is automatic for him. He is unafraid to take it. He doesn't hesitate. Everybody always bites on pump fakes, and he just.
How about him drawing a double team when he drives, kicking it out to Lawyer, and Lawyer just clanking it off the rim?
Well,
or airballing it?
We'll get there.
Lawyer doesn't deserve my ire, and he drew it out today. Like, man, I'm just like frustrated as hell.
This is 2 out of 4 games where he's been completely 0 from the floor.
Yeah.
That is why Painter wanted Braden Smith to be aggressive, right?
This is why you wanted Fletcher Lawyer.
No, not Lawyer. But this is why Painter wanted Braden Smith to be aggressive, because the more the defense collapses on him, the more he can allow his natural playmaking to just make the easy read, make the easy decision. Now, it would be nice if, the 3-point shooters hit the 3-point shots. But, those are details.
Did you see how Gonzaga shot 3? Like what their percentage was today? I know you said they're good.
18%.
18%.
6 out of 32. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. Thank goodness it was, guys. That's why the game was close in the first half.
Right.
It was.
I mean, a lot of those were contested, but some of them were just like clunkers.
There were plenty that weren't, and they just bounced off. There were more. I can think of, and there might have been more, 3 air balls from 3 in this game.
Yeah.
I think 2 from Purdue, but 3 at the Division I level with 2 and 11 teams in the nation, and they were not contested.
I could draw rim or draw iron. I'm a horrible shooter. And I can draw.
The other backcourt player that we need to spotlight. Okay, this is the Lance Jones segment of the podcast.
All
right. Man. How perfect is
we already moved on away from the Smith?
We moved.
Dude, Smith had. We didn't even talk about 5 steals.
Is insane.
6 assists.
So what was his line?
13 points, 6 assists, 5 steals, 4 rebounds.
Wow,
it's such a good game. And there was a stat thrown out there on the Twitters about how I'll have to find it, but Purdue basketball put it out like the last time somebody had that many of each of those. It was a very long time ago. So that's hard to do. You know what's really weird? When you have a game like that, do you know what he was from the free throw line? 1 for 1.
Oh,
1 for 1.
Okay. I don't
one
remember
free
him.
throw. How could you play that kind of game and only get to the line once?
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay,
You know,
I asked this question last year. I'm going to ask it again just because it's fun to think about. It tells you how incredible
Double stuff.
Smith
Oh,
is.
different
No, I know you love the double stuff. What's the more in there? There's more than double stuff, right?
they
the
call it
most
more
stuff.
stuff. Most
stuff.
Yeah,
It's stuff. It's disgusting. Effing awful. All right, we have, by the way, thins in mint.
Oh god.
They're great. They're great.
Yeah, you
They're
like
better than
different-
the lemon thins, which
You
are
like Thin
great.
Mints. Okay, Girl Scouts sell those.
Yeah, they're like a grasshopper or
Yeah.
a thin mint. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're right there. Man, they're good.
That's a-
No, okay, so Ron Gable's in the, and I'll ask him the question too.
Ron's,
So
Ron's
let's see what
taking
he says.
shots in your direction, my friend.
Did he?
I think he's
that's
talking
a little-
about you.
I think he's talking about you. I mean, I'm not even gonna read that. That's a jerk thing to say.
You think he's talking about me?
Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
talking
so.
about you. I'm just gonna go ahead and just
I
not even
don't
look
think
down
so.
at it. I'm gonna do this. Don't be distracted. So, but I can take a shot at him. Okay, Ron, you've been a Purdue fan a lot longer than I have.
Ooh.
Got him. All right. So, is there a point guard in Ron's memory, in my memory? I'm going to go backwards. In Jay's memory and Anisha's memory, that you would rather have running the point than Braden Smith in Game 4 of his sophomore year?
I mean,
I'm putting that
yeah.
in perspective. He's a sophomore. It's his fourth game his sophomore year. And I already am like, man,
Maybe Lewis Jackson as a senior. Maybe.
maybe.
Right. Maybe.
no, the shooting. I mean, like Luke can always get to the rim, but like it's the shooting
Right.
really makes
Yeah.
it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Painter era, he's already to me
Wasn't
the best point guard.
wasn't he
I mean-
thought to not? Wasn't shooting really not what
He
was
was an
expected?
athlete who could get to the
He was an
rim in
athlete.
high school. That's
Right.
the funny thing. Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, his shot is one of his assets. It was ball handling, good point guard, works hard, coach on the floor,
That's
gets
right.
to the rim.
Yeah.
Scrappy.
I don't. Yeah,
By the way, that he is totally scrappy. So
he is. He's all
great.
those things.
I last year I wouldn't have said this. Last year I was actually really frustrated by a lot of what he did. But you
especially
could see
at
that
the end of the
well,
season, he was trying.
even at
hard.
the beginning, like at the beginning, I was team Lawyer, right? I mean, I was like Fletcher Lawyer was one of the most impressive kind of first half freshman year
great start.
seasons I'd seen.
Yep.
And Smith was kind of working.
You compared him
through
to Smooge.
I did. And this is what separates Smooge.
Not incorrectly, by the way. That's the thing.
This
It's
what
not
separates
incorrectly.
Smooge is that the inability to go through a slump. He just never had a slump. He never did.
Right.
It was like there were
He just
never,
got better, right? Because he wasn't a great defender, and then he became a good defender, and he just built on
There
everything.
were never like 3 game stretches where Etwan Moore was in a funk. Like that just didn't happen. Like that it like straight from his freshman year. Anyway, I was a Braden Smith skeptic last year. He is playing so well. Like there is an argument that he is kind of the engine this year more than Edey is. I mean, the ball is in his hands more. He's being given the direction of everything. The defense collapses on him more than the defense collapses.
Carson
on
Edwards
Edey
was
and
never
Benson,
point guard,
but-
guys. Sorry.
Exactly.
That's-
Exactly.
Well-
Carson was
sorry,
never point.
no,
We
he
don't-
was not a point guard.
Who was
not
running the
a point
point when he was playing?
No gel.
then?
Yeah.
It was no gel.
In your face, Jay. You just forget that wonderful chapter. How do you do
I think
that?
Carson was
One of your
listed as a
favorite
point guard.
Boilermakers ever.
I
It
think
was-
Carson was listed as a point guard.
No, I think
No, he wasn't.
No,
No.
gel was point. Carson and
Coach-
I mean,
shooting
I
the
agree.
line were
I
both-
realize
Yeah.
I realize in practical terms he was
Yeah, yeah.
not. But I'm just saying, I that could be a loophole people are going to find here to say, well, no, he was. People said he was.
There you
a
go.
point
Ron
guard.
just came up with the one. I think that's the only one, and I think that predates you. It tells you how long
I
ago
don't
it
know
was.
who Ricky. I don't know who this
Ricky
is.
Hall probably is the one that rivals Smith.
Did he wear
Because
a
I
belt
don't
with his
think
shorts?
I don't put Porter Roberts there. I don't put Alan Eldridge there. I don't put I don't think Everett Stevens was as
Porter
good.
Roberts. That's a good name. Guys
Yeah.
naming dudes.
Porter
Yeah.
Roberts was, but Porter Roberts could not shoot.
No.
He
He
to
couldn't
his
shoot
life.
at all. Couldn't shoot at all. But
Too
he could
muscular.
do curls, dude.
He was beefy,
Those
man.
those triceps were
yoked.
beautiful. He wears sleeveless shirts in the dead of December
So would
on
you?
campus. Yeah. that's
So
true.
would you if you had those guns?
No kidding. I did anyway, and I didn't even have that.
We got Ben Carnahan asking if he's the only one who thinks
KG.
Keaton Grant was the
I
best
love.
Painter era
Hey,
point
I
guard.
love KG. I'm the
I
same
don't
year
think
as the
he's
baby
really a
Boilers.
point guard. I think Kramer was the point guard. I know there's this debate about
Yeah.
this. They're both so
Wasn't Grant
to
a
me.
forward?
No, he was a point.
No.
He was their point. He was that team.
But he was also a shooting guard. One year he was just flat out a shooter, right? His junior year?
That was, but he was still listed. It was always, like like the and other one. Like I'm pretty sure Keaton was always listed as the point guard.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
put
love
him in this
KG,
running.
man.
I would. I mean, I like
No, I wouldn't
Grant.
put him
I
in
like
this
all these
conversation.
guys that I'm talking about. I like all of them.
But I agree.
Nope.
Again, I was a Braden Smith skeptic, and he has been the most important
Kelsey
player
Barlow when he played.
for Purdue this year. Shout out to Barlow, man. That man gave me some funny memories. That's
Lots of
that is
funny
the best.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, just incredible. And then it's time. It's time for Lance Jones. Lance Jones. It's just he's incredible.
He's
he
the
is
perfect fit in this
he is
team.
everything
he is.
that we
He is
wanted.
Yeah.
He is that missing piece that we were talking about. Who is the one that's going to push the pace? Who's the one that's going to be more athletic? Who's going to one that's who's not going to be afraid of the moment? Who's going to take the shot no matter what? Like
Him and Colvin.
Everything. I mean, and again, his percentages aren't that great, but he's not going to freeze up.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't
Not
bad.
bad,
Everybody wants
no.
to come down on him. He was 6 of 14 from the floor. I'll take it.
Take it.
Now he was 1 of 6 from deep, which I don't think he's going to usually be like that.
That's the thing. If they could, that's the only thing I would say to him is let's just lay off the three, bro. Like seriously, you don't need it. You don't need it.
Take 3 a game. Not
I mean,
6.
you got all these great shooters around you. Wait a second.
The points that he gives just in fast breaks alone,
they're so
in
fun.
steals and breaks,
Yeah.
and his finish on the break is so soft. I mean,
he's going so hard at the rim, and then he slows down before he releases.
Just little touch. Yeah.
Senior. I mean, that's experience. It's awesome. He's so good. I love Lance Jones so much, man.
I just like the fact that he plays with such a massive chip on his shoulder.
Braden Smith, Lance Jones, Zach Edey need to be anytime the basketball matters, anytime it is in that zone where you've either got to make a run, you've got to stop a run, or it's crunch time. Those 3 need to be on the floor. There are no questions about it. Mm-hmm. Around them, whoever the 2 wings of the moment are, whether on defense or offense, you play the hot hand, right? 2 wings or forwards at the moment. This game, I think it was first Colvin and Morton. Morton was playing really good defense. He was locking up that guard pretty well.
I don't know how many minutes Morton played, but he was good when he was in there.
I can tell you we have that information. Morton played only 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Colvin only played 30. Now, the other thing I'll point out too, when you talk about who should have been in and who you'd like to see in those final minutes, remember they've got 3 games in 3 days. So that actually, I think, does play into this. I think you're going to see different combinations tomorrow. I really think. I mean,
this is where Purdue's attrition, Purdue wins the war of attrition, right? If it turns into depth,
what you're just describing is making me think how fortunate that you got. Well, these are the 2 wings we're going to use this game, and then when they're not, well, you got these other 2 guys just sitting over here that they can put in who are, top of the Big Ten level wings. Man.
But to me, those three at the core are for Purdue to make a run. It's going to be on those 3's back. And everybody else is going to fill around them like that. And which is huge. It's a huge improvement over last year where the alpha and the omega was Zach Edey, right? And, at the beginning you could count on the freshmen. At the end the forwards were doing well, but there wasn't a clear other, tent pole. When it was Braden Smith, it was a little bit too unstable. This year, it's those 3. Those 3 is what you build the team on. And
how about first coming in very limited duty and just everything he did was right.
Oh, I loved it.
I played 12 minutes. He had 5 rebounds.
Right. I mean, he was just grinding, man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Cameron Heide took 1 shot, and it was that gorgeous.
It was an alley-oop. It was great.
Backdoor alley-oop. Yep. You talk about guys coming in and just injection of energy, man.
Great. And people ask, will TKR start by the Big Ten? This is the thing. I never know what Painter's going to do.
Well,
What'd you say?
yeah, but
He may not start tomorrow.
He shouldn't,
again-
but I bet he will because Painter's in that weird. I think he's in that
Just
weird,
play around.
stubborn thing right now. with-
Somebody in the
with
side there
Atwell.
just said, "Do you think Gillis will start?" I could see Gillis over TKR tomorrow.
I love what Gillis is doing, but man, he's not looking for his shot at all.
Nope.
And we know
he's
can play
doing that.
offense.
He's doing that
Yep,
take like he did in the tournament.
yep. And he's an offensive weapon when he's resolute.
Right.
It's kind of a
I
shame
think
to see that.
I think it is pretty clear that TKR is he's the backup center. Like he needs to be in that backup center role, right? First, and Gillis can play much better in those forward slots, the kind of off big slots. But like TKR needs to be the non-80 center, and I mean, and TKR against backup bigs, like that's a nightmare matchup for them. I mean, like that, that is the attrition against regular teams that will, that kind of middle of the game, like around halftime, is where Purdue kind of increases their lead, right?
Yeah.
When TKR is playing against those type of lineups, I'd like him in that role. But
Well, so someone asked about what everybody think of the Tennessee matchup tomorrow, and you guys are college football psychos or college basketball psychos, so you probably have been paying attention. But I was just familiarizing myself with, and as usual, Barnes has a fast, athletic, long, scary team. But he played 9 players in today's game. One guy only played 1 minute, so let's take him out of it. Okay, take the 8 players. 6 of them are guards. So it's
But
just
they're all like
guards
6'7", aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
I'm wrong about that.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is between like 6'4".
It's like a good
and
Ohio
6',
State team, is what it is.
or 6'5" and 6'11".
He
like,
talk about a guy who has a system and has a identity. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Well, I mean, what's funny is that as Leonard Hamilton kind of slowly ages out, and very slowly, just his skin is just completely great. Like his teams, those long, athletic, fast teams, that has slowly become Barnes. Like it's kind of very similar. Is that bring the dudes here, and I'll plug him in, and I'll make them tough, and like they're good coaches.
he's a
They're
good
really
coach, man.
Yeah.
He's such a good coach, and he's one of those ones we've brought up in the past, like Texas pushing him out. When you look at his record, he went to only one Final Four, but had runs all the time and always had good teams.
I had
Well,
runs
that's
all the
kind
time last week.
That-
Oh wait,
that's
too
wild.
much.
Are you saying that Barnes being pushed out but going to Tennessee and still succeeding, meanwhile Shaka Smart comes in, is the savior, doesn't do as well as they expect, push him out, and he's but his team isn't doing well.
No,
this
they're-
year,
No,
are they?
no.
Check the notes.
Are they what,
being-
7th? Are they?
I'm being told. Wait a
I'm
second.
being told what?
Something's weird about
Oh,
Texas.
it seems like he's. Oh no, are they 4th? I think they're 4th. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Maybe Texas would want.
No,
that.
are they that
I don't
high?
know. Yeah, I
No.
think they're 4.
I think they are right there. Maybe 7.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Fourth.
they're 7th.
They're 4th.
7th. I'm looking at the box score from today. Guys, maybe it depends what poll you're
Talking about
Yeah, I
Marquette.
guess. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Marquette.
sorry. I thought we were talking Tennessee. My bad.
No, yeah.
No.
Tennessee
Yeah,
is 7.
Tennessee
Marquette
7.
is
Marquette's
4.
4. Yeah.
Gonzaga's
So this
11.
could be good. They could have to play. Well, they're not gonna. I guess you get the winner. You're gonna either get Marquette or Kansas, right?
Yeah.
If you win again.
Yeah.
Or
So
if
you
you
get a
lose,
top
if you
5
lose
team.
again, you're gonna get one of them too. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
That'll
Right.
be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah.
I felt much better. I know, Boiler, you said you thought they were going to lose to Gonzaga. I think you said that a week ago.
I said I thought they'd lose to Gonzaga or Tennessee, but
Yeah,
if I were
I
going to be
felt very
betting,
good
I would have
about-
said Gonzaga. So
I felt good about Gonzaga. This one, I feel less.
I think they were so motivated. I think few really wanted to beat.
Yes,
You could tell how much that first TV timeout, when they had just come back,
right.
oh, they were lit on fire, man.
Yeah. He wanted to win. He's been. What is it? 3 losses in the last year? Is that what I saw online? I thought it was
Is
2,
that
but
real? Wow.
I think he's lost to them.
Maybe 3 in the last 2, but
I believe it's 3 straight, and then
Yeah.
before that, did they not play since that 2000 run? I know we're going back a long way, but they beat them. I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm sure Boiler Dad does. They knocked that 2000 Purdue team that went to the Elite Eight, knocked out Gonzaga. So
Round of 16. Yeah.
that was early in the Cinderella hood.
Yep. When ESPN had blessed them as the next great thing. Son of a bitch. Butler, all they did was went to two final games in a row. They never got the treatment that
They
Gonzaga
loved
did.
everybody
They
loved
love
Butler. What are you
They
talking
love
about?
Butler.
Not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
them, not like Gonzaga.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
like Gonzaga. When
We
they
were
were
on the
existing
campus. I was on the
together,
campus
when they
for
were
sure, yeah.
existing together, it was still Gonzaga's ball.
I was really frustrated with Lawyer and with Gillis today. Like, and I don't think we don't like. Again, they are
Don't
better
like getting after
players than
players,
that.
but
Yeah, they're better players than that. They're not going to be this bad. through
Gillis
the
is as old
season,
as you,
but
though, Anish.
I know it's. Well, did you guys see Cam Rising got another year? Like he has another year
7
of
years.
eligibility.
7 years.
Utah's quarterback, is coming back for his 7th year.
How did he get that?
I think
Just
red
ask the
shirt and
NCAA nicely.
red shirt, COVID, and 2 injuries.
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah,
Sure.
plus 4
Doesn't make
seasons.
any
Yeah,
damn sense.
exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But yeah, I mean, like Gillis isn't gonna be like that, letting passes hit him in the face instead of catching them. You hope that Lawyer gets his shot right.
Lawyer's
He
going to be
does-
fine. And my guess is he's probably due to go off, honestly. Just statistically, he's due. He really
By
is.
the way, you may know this, but this is just to make you happier. Purdue is 3-0 all time against Gonzaga.
I thought it was 4.
Well, maybe it's
Little
4. This
sad.
is
I
on
thought-
Sports
now.
Reference
This is
right now,
4.
so maybe it
Yeah.
hasn't been updated. Maybe it's 4 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're playing Tennessee, can we play today's round of guys remember things?
I think we already
and
did. but
remember
go on.
the Ryan Klein
play
shot,
that?
just
yeah.
the ultimate no yes shot.
Yeah. Somebody during the post game was saying, "Do you think there's any way we could get Klein to suit up?" I was like, "Why not have he and if he and Carson were just there, I think people would be like, ooh, this is fun."
Yeah,
A lot of fun. Yeah, that game was stupid. It's I'm trying to think of my favorite games ever as a Purdue fan. Boy, that's right there. In both football and basketball, it's right there.
Yeah, that was.
that Tennessee football game was real fun. I mean, like
Yeah,
we avoided Motor City just because of the horror show that
Music
we
City.
witnessed, or Music City, the horror show that we witnessed.
Was that the same bowl? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only one they play there. And so, yep, it's, I mean, like, there are some cities, eventually I'll bet Nashville gets 2 bowl games. Like it's too good of a,
Right. Why not?
a venue. Yeah, exactly. They do that in Orlando. They do that. I think they do that in Miami, but
Flipping
like,
Orlando. They don't
so
deserve
silly
to.
when it's the same venue and they just name it something else. I
man.
kind of hate that.
it's like when you
Like the
pull
Daytona
the-
500, right? Doesn't it have
it's like
another
the
name?
quick change. It's like the quick change lady at halftime where she's wearing the same dress except it's,
Right.
it's a different.
One year
color.
they'll have 2 bowl games at Yankee Stadium. Boilermaker will be excited.
Yeah, exactly. Just what college football needs. More football in December in New York. Perfect. What a gift to the fans.
It's
didn't
always
wanna be there for
Tennessee.
that.
It's always Tennessee. We said it was always Tennessee. We knew it was always Tennessee, and it's always Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. Maybe they've got our number this time, but I feel pretty confident.
That's the thing that I have. Whenever there's a streak like this, just
It
because
doesn't
probabilities are a thing,
feel-
I'm always
yeah.
like, it's got to end. It's got to end.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Purdue
It's
doesn't
crazy.
lose in the non-con. I don't know if you know this, but this is not. What are they? 25.
I am so excited about the possibility because now I'm starting to feel it again, guys. 3-time November champs.
Oh man! You
Hey,
can
Oh
taste
banners,
it.
my
man.
goodness!
Hang the banners.
You
We're
We
gonna
need-
sell
what
this.
about?
This is merch. We're
There are
selling,
very
by the
few
way.
We need
1
you
or
a shirt
2-time November champs.
with gold banners.
Yes.
Wait, this is our
3-time.
idea. Copyright, trademark, copyright, copyright. It's filed. This is our idea. But we're selling them
3-time
if Purdue wins
November champs.
this. Yes.
It's brilliant. Jay started coining the November champ thing, I think, last year.
2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
So
Oh,
good.
I don't know if I want
When
credit for that.
Trevion, yeah,
Ron says
exactly. You get
Pervember.
credit. Yeah, exactly.
November.
Oh shoot.
Well, that was fun. It was a good, and I mean, the bigger thing is that you see this team like dig from out of a hole, like a real hole against a good team.
Yeah.
Kind of stay confident, stay like calm. Colvin rising up, hitting big shot, like
Yeah, after a
3
cold
big
start too.
shots.
Didn't he
Yeah.
start 0 for 2 and went 2
Yep.
for 4?
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. That's pretty poised.
He's
pretty-
cool, man.
he's gonna be good.
Cool.
Ice
yeah.
Colvin.
Ice
It's a
Colvin,
great
that's it.
nickname.
Um,
LBD.
So I mean, you feel good about this team. It's almost like they're the second best team in the country right now.
It feels
I
like.
mean,
Well, I'll tell you what. This is the first time I've watched them play this year. I was like, okay, they're better. Like that second half, you're like, we saw it.
Yeah.
We saw like they played great versus Duke and Gonzaga last year, but it was like, remember, all they did, they ran their wheels off. Remember, and it almost felt like, okay, these teams aren't that good.
I will be the wet blanket here because I think this feels exactly like last year. They were, and the year before that, they were extremely dominant in November. Where you guys
No, it's
were
better.
like,
Stop it. It's better.
It's the
It's
same.
way better. It's way different. It's different.
It's the same. You know when it won't be the same? Not for another 5 months. Then
Damn
you'll
you.
find out if it was the same.
Boy,
I'm sorry. It's exactly the same.
You're awful. You're an awful.
Yeah,
They're beating
it's-
good teams in
Purdue's an awesome
preseason
team.
tournaments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Purdue can
I'm
get
not
up
saying
to
they're not
teams.
good. They're very good. They're going to be number one in the nation when they win this tournament.
So that's what Painter was baffled by last year, which was like we're so much better. No, we're so much better against the good teams. Like, why can we?
Right.
Like,
Can we just play
I heard
Kansas
him
in the
say
first
that.
round of the tournament, please? Is that possible? Just do it backwards, like Benjamin
Right.
Button.
We'll start with the championship and kind of fizzle out towards the.
Right. Well, no, you get to there, and then the pressure is mounted, and then you have
Right.
to play like Fairleigh Dickinson in this Final Four, and you're like,
By the way, they
know.
tried that with St. Peter's. That's pretty
They
much
did
what
try
they
that.
tried.
You're right.
didn't
and
work.
It
It
backfired. Well, that's because
Yeah,
they got
it
him in the middle of the tournament. It was in the
Right.
Sweet 16. That's also
Yeah, that's
a weird
only
time.
Sweet 16. Nobody
Yeah.
go up.
the
The funny thing is, the crazy thing, and I keep saying this to people, and I can't really say it now to the general public. I can say it to Purdue fans. It's just us friends here. It's just us girls. But the Painter was really solid in the tournament. They went to Sweet 16, Sweet 16, Sweet 16. They did that, and that's not a bad place to be. But now, like, the casual fan doesn't seem to remember that it ever happened. And in their defense, how could you after the last?
That was our joke, right? Is top
Right.
3 in the Big Ten and Sweet 16, and that's it. That's our season. Like, rinse and repeat. And now it's like,
I like those days.
well,
And I hated those days.
I hated those days because the teams weren't as good, but also
Right.
the teams weren't as good. It's just like,
Right.
I see we have Alfred Dowd joining me. Is that a
Actually
relative of yours?
that's the man. Yeah. That's the man.
He's with me, by the way, as usual.
of course. Of course.
Boo. Boo. Both of you guys, boo.
No, somebody else in here. I'm going to continue to keep you all in check. I don't want to rain on your excitement. I kind of do, but no, not really that.
You
much.
rained on it so fast.
Motor
It was
City.
not like you
No,
didn't even get
I
a chance to
waited.
sit.
I let you guys get it out.
Jerk.
Motor City Boiler says they were surprisingly good last year. This year they're expectedly good. Wrong again. They were number
Why?
1 2 years ago. So last year it was
No,
not
it was surprising last year. You're incorrect. They weren't ranked.
They weren't.
They
ranked
weren't
last year.
ranked.
See, so Kevin
They
Spurrier
weren't
brings
ranked
up
to start the
What does
season
that have to do with anything?
because nobody expected
nobody
it.
expected it. Yeah.
It's surprisingly good last
So
year.
I guess last season
absolutely.
was an overwhelming success then.
Well,
It
that's
was.
the-
It was
yeah.
great. It was no problems.
There were
Nothing
no
to
problems.
speak of.
Nothing
Just
went
so fun,
wrong.
and then the season was over and we just left.
Yeah,
Kevin's-
exactly.
Purdue won
We
everything. that we
after
could have.
after the tournament champ, that was the music stopped and they had the freeze frame and then they showed the credits. That was it.
That's
all
it.
that happened.
One
The ball
shining
is tipped. No.
moment. It's fine. We'll do this after every game, and
have
it'll
to
be
laugh.
fine.
We
It'll
have
be
to
fine.
laugh.
Yeah,
I know
feel
you
good,
weren't
though.
Anish when you said that point you made that was extremely eloquent that I can't remember right now about what
It's impactful.
That-
every win won't matter. Every loss will be
The end
a
of the world.
referendum.
Yeah, a referendum. Yeah.
It's so perfect. I know you weren't talking about what us.
No, but
You were
just
talking
in
about
general.
the social
They-
media,
Yeah,
but it totally feels like that's the whole season. I mean,
yeah.
like
It's
I
gonna
will
be
say though, if they
miserable.
run through this tournament, Jay, I'm pretty sure it's never
gonna be
happened.
tough.
So like, yeah, it's unprecedented.
You can print up the championship shirts right now.
championship shirts, dude. That's gonna make it onto our Redbubble store if that
Oh,
Yeah,
happens.
no
November
Oh,
November
that's-
champion koozies are absolutely
for
coming out.
everybody. Awesome.
That's happening.
Before you crown them November champs, though, there's a lot
Gotta
of
earn it.
basketball to be
Gotta
played.
earn it.
Gotta earn it. Who's your prediction for the championship? Would it be championship, right? If they beat
Yeah.
Tennessee,
Yeah, Kansas.
Kansas.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. When does the Hunter Dickinson bomb go off where he shows how much of a cancer he really is? Because
Right.
it will happen. He is absolutely a cancer.
He's not great. He does not seem like good vibes.
Not great.
No good vibes. Listen to his
But
stupid
Kansas
podcast.
seems-
Listen to that guy talk. Look at his
Kansas
dumb
seems-
No,
face.
I think I won't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, thank you. Kansas
won't like it.
is good. Kansas is very good. This is my.
Yeah, they're
this is
good.
my
They're always
analysis.
good. They cheat
I
their
mean,
asses off. Yeah, they're good.
Marquette is also very good, but I think
I have
that
more
it's going
respect
to
for
be
Marquette.
Kansas. Oh yeah, of course, because it's Shaka.
Yep.
I mean,
Don't have a guy who broke federal law to get players there and wasn't named in a federal case. But let's not worry about
And
that.
then came to their midnight magic like
Like you
flaunting
with
it.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a how there's no punishment there.
the funniest thing was when you guys brought up when he went back to Illinois and when Self went back to Illinois, and it was
and
like,
I was
hey,
like,
well, what do you
like
feel
the Illinois
like?
people, what's it like coming back to Illinois? Who gives a shit? He doesn't care
He
at
coaches
all.
Kansas. Does he remember he coached Darren Williams in Illinois? Does he
I'd be
remember
like if LSU or sorry, if Alabama played Michigan State in football,
yeah.
and they were like to Nick Saban, what do you think of coming back to East Lansing? He'd be like,
I don't know. Was I ever here?
Yeah.
Was I? Yeah.
Yeah. It's so stupid. It's all stupid. I hate everything.
It's fine.
Well, here,
it'll be fun.
your frown is going to be upside down on Saturday
I'm frowning.
afternoon.
Having a great time.
You hate everything on Saturday afternoon
Me?
when Purdue is hoisting the bucket. And
we're here on the other side of the sandwich.
yep.
Yes,
we had to get back.
Exactly. It's the
We
final
gotta
slice
take
of
a
bread.
bread back.
Sorry, this is our show, everyone. In your face.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're going to talk about bad football when we feel
well,
like it.
but it's not just it's hate week, it's rivalry week, and it's the last normal one for a while because everything
Right.
gets weird next year,
Yeah.
right? Like, you've got matchups. Let's take a quick look at it. You've got awesome matchups that everyone can't wait for, like Penn
Historic.
State, Michigan State, Maryland, and Rutgers. Ooh, man, when those two get together, just throw the
Everybody
records
knows historic records.
Yep.
All 6 of those records go out the window.
I kind of
That's
like.
right.
I like that.
Deep history.
Well, okay. So is this the first? Is this a Saturday where you will unequivocally be actively pulling for Ohio State to win a football game?
Man.
Yes.
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 Beat them by 6.
Yes.
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 No,
nothing-
because I want to see what Ohio State fans do if Sharon
that's also fun.
team beats Ohio State. That's what I want. This is what I want.
I can say that's
See,
fun.
am I swaying you down? Yes.
That's
Oh,
fun.
we
We win regardless.
I was just gonna say, what do I say
That's the
about college
best.
football? It's gonna be funny either way.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
But
even when you think you didn't get a gift, you get a gift. There's something good.
I want to
here.
see Ohio State. I don't have anything really against Ryan Day, but I would love to see them run a guy out of town who's lost 3 Big Ten games and is like
3
Yeah.
or 2
boy.
so
It's
far.
like, what is he?
Oh,
40? Yeah, he's lost 2 so far. 2.
So he'd be losing 3.
He could
And all
lose his
of them
third
the same
one
team.
in 5 years, something like that.
No, they'd be 3 straight.
No. But in total,
Oh yeah, sure.
coaching
Sure.
in the Big Ten, I think for 5 years.
Yeah.
And he would have 3 Big Ten losses.
So in the fall, will Harbaugh keep Fields as his quarterback, or will he go get another quarterback? Will he go get a Michigan man from the draft?
He's keeping Fields. He's gonna.
You think he'll keep Fields?
Do you think he's
I
gonna
know
leave Michigan? I don't
No,
think
the Ohio State thing. He's not going to keep Fields. He's absolutely not going to keep Fields,
I
and he's
agree.
not going to draft Marvin Harrison. Is what he's not going to do.
You think he's going to go coach in the
I do.
NFL?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, it's
He's going to fade into Bolivian in the NFL. No, I think he's going to leave Michigan, and I think the NCAA is going. Here's the thing: the fact that you've seen so much backing down by Michigan tells us it's all there. The evidence is all there, just from the Big Ten and the NCAA. The crack NCAA staff hasn't even come up with their results of their investigation. What will happen is the scapegoat's right out of town. Obviously, Stallions is gone. Then the guy who was going to burn the computers or whatever the hell he was going to do,
the linebacker
he's gone,
coach.
right? Yeah, he's gone. And then Harbaugh will quietly
Harbaugh
slip
didn't
into
know
the
anything
NFL.
about any of this. This all
No, he
went
didn't
on
know. He
without
didn't know a
his
thing. Didn't know a thing. He just
I imagine
completely
somebody
agreed
with
to
a
a
light.
punishment that was decided in a matter of weeks. And they were lawyered up and ready to go. But all of a sudden,
Wasn't
no
that
big
great?
whoop.
Isn't that awesome when it's like,
Gosh.
we're fighting this, and it's like, have a look at this, and like,
Yeah.
never mind.
No, this is fine. This is okay.
This is good.
Yeah, we
imagine
just don't want that to be
coach-
public. Well, it's going to get public one way or another. We'll all know about it. It may be on 30 for 30 or whatever, but it's going to happen.
But I said to you guys, this is the most toothless bullshit penalty too. Like he can't
Oh.
None
coach
of it matters.
on game day,
None
but he
of
can
it
coach
matters.
all week.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's not like he's not in communication with them. Are we going to delude ourselves that he's not talking to the coaching staff?
They didn't make it that he couldn't, did they? They just said he
can't
couldn't be on the sideline.
Right. They can't. Well, they can't do anything about. They cannot control cell phones, and
Right.
They can't. They could say it, but then they'd just be defied, and then they'd have to find a way to enforce it, and they can't.
Yeah.
So it's such a toothless thing. It's like, does the head coach really do that much on game day? Versus,
Probably,
like, isn't it all
but,
about
like,
the prep?
it's not?
Big
That's not a
decisions?
punishment. Yeah, that's not a punishment. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
They celebrated their 1,000th win this last week, and they're probably going to do it again in a couple of years as well. So,
Nice,
like,
nice.
it'll be fine.
well,
They
somebody,
get to celebrate it
That was-
twice.
someone did
that's
make
you
a
were
point
saying
that
line.
someone did make a point that
great.
that probably killed him, that he wasn't out there for the 1,000th win.
That's worth the punishment.
That
to me.
probably
I
really
mean,
bothered
that's
him that
good.
he wasn't out there with
But
that.
he got to
sign.
hear for he's a jolly good
face.
fellow.
Oh, so weird.
What
What a
is
damn
strange-
weird
College football
culture.
is the best. College
It is the
football
best,
is
but they're so weird.
yes,
weird.
everything about this is so weird.
The gif that I put up of the Purdue fan in the gold fedora dancing that got
Yes.
a lot of traction.
It's so
Yeah.
weird.
That's weird.
There was only one negative reaction, and it was some really angry guy who has Mike Woodson as his profile
Of
picture,
course.
and he said, "Purdue fans so effing weird." I was like, why do you hate fun? What's
That's
your problem?
weird. Yes.
Let us enjoy
absolutely.
November over here, okay? Take your shot. You can make fun of so many things about Purdue. Why would you make fun of
Yeah,
that?
why would you make that one? Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody asked who's that guy. I said he's a drunk guy on vacation. Get off his back. He's having
Seriously,
a good time.
let the man live. He paid $10,000 to go to that.
Exactly. He
game.
paid $1 billion to watch that game.
I'd be drunk and dancing too.
Exactly.
In a tank top, a skin tight Purdue
Right. It
sheer.
would
It
be
looked
tight.
like it was. It looked like it was pleather. It looked like it was a pleather jersey,
It's
and
probably something he wore in college.
I was kind of jealous of it.
Still crammed.
The funny
into
thing is, he moved down on his own, right? His seat was someplace else, but he got on TV and none of his family or friends wanted to be near him.
Oh, it's so good.
He's like, I'm getting on TV. They're like, have fun, bro.
I want to know who those guys are, who they always show, who are
suit
the
guys?
glasses and the suits.
They've got a Twitter feed.
I met them
Yeah.
in Connecticut, and
They spend a lot of money. I don't know what
Yes.
they do. They spend a lot of money. They spend like J Money type money every game.
this is a see. I'd be there if any of these rumors were true, but it's
How do I know you're not there? How do I know this isn't just a shanty set? Just
green screen?
keep
Yeah,
me off. Yeah, exactly. Keep me off of the
The
this is-
walls
I'm wearing a
look like
hoodie
him
to
just
complete the whole thing. I
Right.
want everyone to
Brr, I'm cold.
I'm gonna go to the beach in 2 minutes.
Uh,
I'm someplace in the Northeast right now.
I was gonna try to do a luau music, but I don't know how to do it.
it's always it's. There you go.
It's a good solo.
Yeah, it's really good. I by the way, I will eventually go to a Maui Invitational with Purdue there. It's probably right before I die, like right before.
Maybe
Like I'm sick, and it's because I've planned this trip multiple times. Every time, like, nope, can't do it. This
It's
is
a
too
lot.
much monies.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a
Just
lot.
wait until you don't have to drag your stupid kids around. Oh.
Right, exactly, exactly. Wait a second, I like it. That was the
I'm
that
not
was the whole
sure
plan.
they're ever gonna not want to go.
No. Especially the one. He's poisoned forever.
Yeah, he is. He is totally. So you guys, you think Purdue retains the bucket?
I am quite confident that.
Are you
Purdue
quite
keeps the
confident?
bucket. Yes,
I'm a little
because
concerned.
neither team has anything to
concerned.
play for, and Purdue wants
But
Purdue wants to
IU
show things more, and IU is not.
No, but Anish, IU is very used to having nothing to play for. But
Right. This is like normal condition. This
Right.
is-
And they always play hard.
So this is the first bowl game since what, like 2012, 2013.
Bucket
those 2
game.
years. Bucket game. Good
bucket
lord.
bowl.
I did it now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is
Love
the
it.
first bucket
Totally
game.
accidental and horrible.
I know. That is meaningless on
Yes.
both sides since like
Yes.
2013, 2012. Like those 2 years. It didn't mean anything for either team.
Yeah, they were
And
bad.
fittingly, I think they split them in those 2 years. And then you go 10 years before that, and that was when, neither team had bowl aspirations or anything like that. I think that
Okay, which is
Purdue-
more likely? Purdue running backs combined for 350 yards, or Hudson Card throws for 300 yards.
The former. Hudson Card hasn't been.
Yeah, disagreement from LBD and you.
Hudson Card has not been throwing for 300 most games.
Yeah.
So
For the card 300?
Yeah.
Yeah.
does he think you're just asking him, or does he know you're doing?
No,
it?
he knows. He knows I'm on. He knows. He says 350 is too hard. I don't think 350 is hard.
For what?
running.
Running backs?
For
That's a
Purdue?
lot. That's a lot.
It's
That's a
not hard.
lot.
They had 353 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but
Right.
yeah, but
So-
we power
was like-
running team. Yeah.
Well, and it was like the highest in forever. That's
Yeah.
not. I don't
I
think
don't
it's,
think it's that
you're-
hard.
So Kevin Spry says over under 299.5 rushing yards for Purdue. See, these are the message. These are the comments I like. Give us some,
Over.
Yeah, I'd go over on that one. I mean, I don't.
Over.
Still a lot, but I do think they're going to run the hell out of the ball. Even with Card playing,
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Ryan Brown come in on running plays
He
like-
had legs
because he
I
looked
liked him.
effective.
He looked
He's good.
He looked good, but I wasn't. Again, I don't really hold as much of a like. Why didn't you just stick with one all game? At halftime, you didn't know. Like at halftime, neither of them looked great.
Oh,
And by
you
the end
knew
of-
they did it before the half. That's the problem. Let a guy get into rhythm. Like that made no sense to me.
What do you
Throwing
mean?
both quarterbacks at it made no sense.
What
Let a
made
guy get
sense-
into rhythm.
What
Holy
made sense
crap.
to me is that game was not for that game. That game was who is Hudson Card's backup. Like, show me who it is, and they were going to give them equal kind of shot at taking.
It was
it
Meredith
and running
Baxter
the-
Bennett. I mean, that's the thing. It was his. That was the
spot, and
backup. All year long, he was second on the 2 deep. All
And
year
Br-
long.
and
Let the
Brown-
dude play now.
No, Brown left him. He's better. He's
Very
better.
many people don't understand the joke that I just made.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's very good.
I don't know. I'm too young.
You are.
Awesome. It's exactly right.
But
an old-
these grays tell me that
That's an
that's
old
not great.
joke.
That's not a
coming.
good
It's
sign.
I think even with Hudson Card playing, you still should be betting on the high rushing total because I think
think
they're going to
that's
try to
right.
keep
Because
him
he
out of
doesn't
harm's
pass the
way.
ball for very many yards. That's kind of the right.
Well,
No, but I do
he
think they're gonna
can, but
run.
I think that there's going to be even they've learned something.
He
The last 2
can.
weeks, something has worked. Something has worked with
What's
the
his
running.
best? What's his career best passing game?
I think he's had 1 or 2 300+ games. He has. I think he had 1 this year, but
Did he?
no, most of the time. But that was my compliment. Was that even when they dominated both their huge wins this year, he was at like 240, something like that, right? Like he
Right.
was
That's
very-
kind of what he
which
does.
is great.
Yeah,
And
that's fine.
efficient.
I don't
like
have a problem
17
with
of
it.
25 for 240.
Win the
and
game and throw for 240 yards.
Yes.
Excellent. I
You
love
don't
it.
need to throw
I'll
for
do it all day
400
long.
400 yards. It's fun when you do, but when
Right.
you're rushing for 250 or 300, that means your
Yeah.
offense is humming. You get
Yeah.
500 yards. Like,
I'll tell you, I agree. I think they're going to keep sticking with the run game. I think they're going to.
Mockman
They
and
may
Tracy
let Card
both
go,
look
but
so
then
good.
Good.
They
they're-
both
they're
look so
gonna-
good, though. Go ahead,
There are going to
Kevin.
be more plays like
Tracy
last
has
week.
what, 6 more years of eligibility? Is that
I think
right?
so.
I hope
figured
so.
that out?
They had last week. Maccabee and Tracy were on the field at the
Yeah.
same time, which is
Yeah.
great to see.
Hey, boy, that
Yeah.
Greg Manis just says you should have worked in the Alex P. Keaton Grant
Right.
earlier in the show. That's another
That would have
good
been
one.
very good.
That's another good one.
Yeah,
that's,
this
that's
is
two
awesome
family
because
ties
we already
jokes
have a
in
problem where our demo is way too old, and I'm just
Family
this is
I heard it's
digging
Baxter
into it.
Burner.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, we could do this all day.
Yeah.
No,
Somebody
think
asked the
I'm
question in
pretty
my
confident.
family: is it Brownie or Brown?
It's Brown.
It's Brown. It's Brown.
what?
It's not Brownie. It's not Brownie. It's not BROWNIE or BROWNEY. It's
Brownie.
Brown. It's just Brown with an E.
brownies. So good. It's like Heidi. That's maybe they were asking the same way for that.
Right, exactly. That's still a mystery.
Michael
to me.
revealed that he thought it was Hyde.
Of course he did. Who's Michael? That's what many people in the margin are asking right now. Who are you talking about? Who's Michael?
I am not as confident, but it's funny. After the Minnesota game, I thought, man, they're going to win out. This is going to be great. Now, I still do think I think they win that
would've
game
won.
if Hudson
They-
Card plays.
They win that game going away with Hudson playing.
Yeah,
Do they?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Do they?
Northwestern
were
did not
a
play
lot
well.
better.
They didn't
They
play
were.
well.
Inspired football. They're not good. Northwestern's not good.
I
You know who
know.
else isn't good, guys?
IU,
Purdue.
Purdue.
It's fine. We're
And
there.
yeah, it's not. It's not fine. I don't think it's fine. I'm
Minnesota's
really
bad.
not fine with this existence. I don't want to back into it. I don't want to have a malaise of let's see, who's really mediocre coach. And I'm thinking before Hope and Hazel. A really mediocre coach is
Coletto.
Coletto, right? Maybe
No,
Burnett, but
no,
Burnett
yeah.
went. Yeah, Coletto is more
Coletto, maybe
mediocre
he
than
was bad.
Burnett because
Oh,
he
yeah.
didn't go to a bowl, right?
Right.
Couldn't even get to a bowl.
I don't
So,
think that this is
Coletto.
that. I don't think that this is that at all.
Well,
Like,
Good. Glad you don't think that.
Yeah, I don't think it is
I'm
at
happy
all.
for you. I wish I
The
didn't feel that way.
defense looks better. The defense looks real. I think that
And that
game is
offense,
I think
that they have the
I
ball.
think with Hudson last week, I think that is a running away win.
I think so too. I
And
think
I think against IU
Because of the one
but-
good game, because of the
Because one-
Minnesota game, which was fun.
No,
I'm glad we had it.
because of a season with Card, right? I mean, like
The
a season with Card.
But the season was not the Minnesota game. That was the exception. The Syracuse game and the Minnesota games are the exception. They are not the rule.
Illinois, not Syracuse, but yes.
Yeah,
Illinois, sorry, my fault.
But
And
they
Illinois
put up
sucks,
yards.
by the way. That's a bad team. It's a
All
really
those
bad
Big
team.
Ten West
Minnesota
games,
is not a good team.
I mean, yeah, Minnesota.
you rained fire down on Minnesota. Congratulations.
Yeah.
They were down 2 linebackers for that game and a bunch of other guys. And
Oh,
they
I'm
looked
s-
like a high school
we
defense.
stumble
many
into the
times,
knucklehead
looking
board?
into the
What's going
backfield.
on
I
here?
know. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Is Purdue not playing their third string offensive line? Like
Not anymore. Not really. Not really.
What are you talking about?
It's not really true. It's not really true. It's
Well,
not really
they-
true.
After
they
We
five
can say
years,
it was
they're
true at
first
some
string.
point. Guys have come back.
They literally played. They had to
I'm
play
not going to make
somebody
any
that
of
was
hard
those
to get
freaking
the right
excuses
tackle.
for the offense.
They,
I'm really
they
not.
played
I'm not in
right
for it.
tackle at their. They played their center at
Slippery
right
slope.
tackle,
Not doing it. I'm not
and then
doing
they
it.
pulled their
Not doing it. You're not
emergency
gonna-
guard
You're not going to get me.
because
I'm not
Ben Farrell couldn't play. Like, what are you talking about?
To me, you're a half step from saying is Graham Harrell's actually pretty good. You just got to
No,
give him
I'm
time.
not.
And I can
When you
freaking say
consider what he's had
I'm
to deal
not
with,
ready to say
is-
any of that. I'm not conceding that at all. I said he called a good game versus Minnesota. That's my concession. He's got a lot to prove.
Sure.
And guess what? And I'll go the next step. Coach Walters, you hired this guy. How about that? I'm not happy with any of that on the offensive side of the ball. I am not happy with it. And I hope it is great next year. We're dancing in the streets and they get 7-8 wins and we're like solidly in a bowl next year. And the defense is a mother. But guess what? If they try to do it just with defense next year, it will not succeed. It will not succeed. They'll barely get into a bowl. They'll have 6 wins and we'll all be like, not going to be real happy.
First, against 6 wins against that schedule would be good.
So you're already saying that's success.
Yeah.
No.
Have you seen
This
it?
is so
You
slippery.
have, 'cause
It's
you
such
had
a
the
slippery
schedule
slope
on
you're
your
on.
quick cast.
So it's such a slippery slope.
Um,
Graham Harrell, let me tell you something, sir. You're making a ton of money to be okay. A ton. Get your head out of your ass. Become Mike Leach. All right. That's what I want to see. I'm
Well,
not
not
being
right
funny.
now, but,
There are innovators all over the nation on offense, and we don't have one. Okay. I've held back all season. I'm not holding back anymore.
I don't.
I
think
want
that last
innovation.
week-
I want to see a coach that innovates.
second week in a row with 300 yards rushing. There is something happening.
Air raid,
I-
baby.
We act like running a jet sweep or running a pump fake left and a pump fake right is like, woo, wow,
If
what
that-
did we just see?
You could do that.
Earn your money. Earn your money, Graham.
The biggest thing is that 1 yard. That 1 yard is the frustrating thing.
Oh, yes,
can
and
you
it has
not
never
do that?
gone away. It's never
I
gone
think
away.
what they need
has
to do
it?
when they're down on the 1 is just
Take
take
it
it from the 12
Just take it.
and
back.
just run like
Exactly. If we have first and goal from the 1, the best thing to do is say we'll take it.
the
We'll take
offensive
10
line
yard
just
loss.
goes to the 10 of
Exactly.
the
Everybody gets up. False
Right.
start. We're back 10 yards. No, it's a 5-yard pit. Nope. We'll take 10. We'll take 10.
No,
Who
I
wants
mean
some
just
room
line
to
up
work?
back there. Just don't even.
What I think
Purdue
I
is a Marvin Harrison, and it's this simple.
Junior.
They're Marvin Harrison Jr. and Drew Brees away from being really good on offense.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
that it.
Drew.
If they had
I
that,
would-
it'd be fine.
I wouldn't take Drew. Give me like Jason Kelsey. Give me some meat. I want some beef. Give me someone with beef, some heft on the.
They're
Man, it's
Oh,
all
boys.
spilling out here on the right
Yeah.
before the last game of the
It's all
season.
spilling out.
I
all
think this
spilling
game
out.
means. I think this game means significantly more to Purdue, and so that's why I'm pretty confident in it. Like I think this going the way of the Minnesota game does so much more
Oh, yeah.
for Purdue's offseason than kind of anything.
might
I will.
as
I think than a win, than an IU win. I think it means so much more to Purdue to win this. I think they'll be more motivated.
This is
It's
another
in
thing
Roseanne.
about-
They're both.
It
bad.
should, right? At home
Yeah.
for a
It's
game.
another
Think
thing
about
about
that.
rivalry
Should
games.
the home advantage should be something.
But
It
it's
really
another
should
thing
in this
about,
type of game,
about hate week is you get to see whether your coach gets why it's important to you or that it's important to you.
right?
So I think that'll be interesting too. Like maybe that's why Card is coming back. Maybe that's why Scorton's playing. Scorton. We do this every week.
Because growing up in Texas, he was like, man, I love that bucket game.
Same way. Same with Walters in the West. Like,
well, you know what? The one fiery game, and guys do get it sometimes, right? Remember when in basketball, when Purdue had kind of lied dormant for years, and then all of a sudden Kramer and DJ White got into it, and it felt like, oh boy, there's still a rivalry here,
right?
You can still get pissed off at these guys, right?
Oh yeah,
Bob Knight's gone, but you can get angry here. You need that. We need a moment like that. Somebody ripping somebody else's helmet off. That'd be fun.
Oh, I love beating IU in football. I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's and I've said that, I've written about this back when we used to actually write on our site. Yeah. There's something about, like, no matter what you've been disappointed in during your season, you get to this week and you're like, okay, no, we're fine. Everything pull together. Don't care. Come on, Graham Harrell. This is your chance. Like everybody just, man, like if you go out there and hang 40 on IU, that would be so fun.
I'd love to see, like, one thing I loved about the Minnesota game is there was faith there. It felt like to me, faith in the system, right? You're like, okay, guys are going to hold their blocks. Guys are going to get open. We're going to run plays based on people executing. Right. Not just saying, I don't know if we can do this, so we're going to run a really shitty play from shotgun. Oh, we just lost 2 yards.
What's funny is they could end up 3-6, and I guess they'd be in last place in the West. And all 3 wins could be absolute blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild, isn't it?
Right? Because if they win, I feel like it's going to be kind of a Purdue pounding.
Yeah.
But
it's funny. So people have, like, it's interesting. Like, I saw somebody on Twitter say this isn't really like I think he said this isn't really like a Coletto team because they really didn't blow many people out. When Coletto was there, they blew out like Ohio. They blow out Ball State, right? But they really didn't blow out many Big Ten opponents.
No.
Right. So that is a difference. I say that's a differentiator. That's fair. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even going to go down the road of I think even the people that were all in on the Hazel comparison, you have to say, come on, guys, let's silly. But it's such a broad spectrum. That's the thing. You can be very angry at the offense like I am and still say they can be good next year. I just want them to prove me wrong. That's the thing. I want to come in skeptical and say, yeah, I was wrong, and I'll admit it. But the big thing that your point, Anish, is I know they're bandaged together. I understand it. I just don't. I see other teams, injuries happen, and I'm not just talking about Ohio State and Michigan, who are Supermen on top of Supermen, right? It's just a stack of 5 stars, right? There are teams that have had injuries. Northwestern's circumstances were pretty bad this year.
Yeah.
They found a way to cobble together a bunch of inspired wins, right?
Yep.
I don't like the idea of, let's say, oh man, can't do it because of the offense, or can't do it because whatever, right? Whatever that we're gonna pick the excuse. I just don't want to make it. I don't want it. I had more of a problem with the injury year when Purdue was down to their. How far in the quarterback did they get when? Was that? It wasn't during Brown when they were down to 4th string. I guess it was.
Yeah. Aiden O'Connell was the.
Yeah. So they remember that they sucked that year too, right? That was an awful season. But the quarterback makes a ton of difference, right? I mean, this is where Jay's argument about being pro card, which is fine. You can be all in on that. The quarterback makes a big difference, right? It's the easiest way to get a program to the next level quickly. It's not a magic bullet. It doesn't work every time, right? There have been great quarterbacks that have proven. I just couldn't get it done there. Jay Cutler, for instance. I mean, a great quarterback. That's sarcasm. Everybody. That's the funny thing is Cutler won 6 games at Vanderbilt, I believe. Everybody thought he's going to be awesome in the pros because he has all these, these tangibles, not intangibles, big, strong arm, whatever, can lift weights a bunch of times. Then it turns out he's actually pretty mediocre. Right?
Yeah. He got paid.
He did get paid. I don't ever disparage someone for finding a way to get it done, man. That's awesome, But we always say, we need that agent.
This bucket game is important because of, again, like, I don't think momentum carries from season to season in terms of wins. Like, I don't think it matters for next season but what I do think is what we were talking about earlier, actually before the Minnesota game, which
Mhm.
was fan interest
Yeah.
and enthusiasm
apathy,
and
yeah, yeah.
NIL, like, coffers and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, this is why Walters knows that the bucket matters, because winning that gives you more resources to make
Oh,
the
yeah.
team better next year. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So to me, that's why I'm pretty confident. That's why maybe you'll see one or two or several of us in the stands. Who knows? Who knows?
Right,
Who
right.
knows?
Depends where you look.
Exactly.
Well, that's the funny
Any
thing. Like, I
direction.
think that at different times in the season, all of us have been on the spectrum of let down or whatever, right? I appreciate the fact, Anish, that you're still excited to see him play. I mean, I want to see him play just because, like you said, I like to see him. I'd like to see him beat IU, and I mean, there's really not much of a bragging right now in Indiana. I don't think that's really
It's just
all that
fun
much
to
of a
beat
thing.
'em.
Right, just fun to beat him.
Yeah.
But the thing that does frustrate me, the people that have already said, "Well, I'm not going to this game," I'm like,
Fine.
really? I mean, what
Yeah.
you boys?
It's not a long season. College football is
Exactly.
so fun and so great, and I know that it's getting
Especially if you're
cold.
50 years old or older, because like that's older than us. But you look the next step, you're like, man, you get how quickly years go, how quickly
Yeah.
seasons go. Man, I love college football season. I
So you're
still
saying
wanna
those
win.
people shouldn't be that way because like they should have some perspective on how fast
Yes,
the years go. Right.
yes.
If a young
There's
person,
a chance
yeah,
that they could be good next year. There's a chance they could turn this around relatively quickly. There's a
Yeah.
chance. I'm not saying it's horribly likely, like that you're like, okay, yeah, they're gonna be 7-8 win
Obvious,
team
yeah.
next year, you know.
Yep.
But there's a solid chance they could be
college
good
football is
next
so fun. The whole
Yeah.
experience, all of it's so fun. And the Purdue fans and the student section, they've like shown out, man. Like
Right.
they were there for, you talked about it. They were there for that Minnesota
Great.
game.
They
Place
were
looked great.
great.
The
They were
place looked
great. They
great. It
were, I
was
mean, like,
full.
and then you'll of course have people that's the funny thing. Twitter again, all the smart people on Twitter, but we were like, they left too early. I'm like, you weren't at the game. They were awesome. The
Yeah.
students were
I
great.
mean, and who's coming down on you? So Purdue was up 49-30 or whatever it was, and you
Right.
left. Screw you. They're allowed. They can go
Yeah.
home. The job was
Exactly.
done.
I
Time
mean,
to go.
and the other thing about this is like, if you watched I watched Walters both post game and his Monday morning thing today, and I didn't realize, as mad as you got at Harrell there and the offense, like I've never seen. I mean, and we've watched him for a season now. Like that was about as angry as we have seen Walters in post game of last. Like after last week, like that was about as short. He's never short. He's never rude. He's never like he never chews anyone out. But that was about as angry as I think that even killed coach gets. And so it's like it's like one word answers.
Really?
Like,
What was he pissed about?
They lost.
Okay.
I mean, they lost a
he
winnable
thought-
game.
Well, that's
He's
the
a
funny thing. I
competitor,
wonder,
man.
early in the season when he said, I thought we were going to get the ball back, go out and win. This is a game he probably thought we're going to beat this team.
Yeah.
They should have. They still should have.
Yes, they
So
should
it's
have.
like, so it's the fact that there's growth on the defensive side for the first time ever, like for the first time in 20 years, and he still wants this. You can tell that he.
Oh, yeah.
He's hungry, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like that's all. I'm confident that it's going to happen. I mean,
Right.
so we'll see. We'll see on Saturday then.
Who's your one more last question? This is the last thing. Who's your if they get the bucket? Who's the player of the game?
Tracy.
Okay.
I
Jay?
loved the way he played last game. Gosh,
I
he
I'm
was-
gonna come with mine here in a second. I think it's gonna be
Can I give an offense and a defense?
sure. That'd be awesome.
Maccabee and Thieneman.
I think those are
That'd be
perfect.
nice.
I think that's
That'd be
perfect. And I
nice.
tell you, I love because those are two guys that grew up with the rivalry. Maccabee, of course, being a Southern Indiana kid, I could see him going just crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
But I agree with Anish that you know this. I love Tracy. He's my guy. Like he's doing everything I kind of thought he could do.
Yeah.
But Maccabee feels like he's gaining steam the last few weeks.
I
Right?
agree.
It's
I agree.
felt like he's kind of hit another, and that's partly because of how they're using him. I'm not trying to give Graham
Right.
Harrell credit here, but I do think that they'll rest him for a while, right? They'll use Tracy for a while, and then they'll hit you with a little bit of a different look, and they'll use Maccabee for a while. And and they actually got both of them on the field at the same time. Like literally what we asked for a week ago, they did it. Now, again, out of necessity, this has not been an offense that wanted to do that. But they put them on the field, which I don't have any problem with. I'd like to see a few sets like that. Like, I know that's not air raid style, but so what? What? It was working. Yes. So yeah, and I think Thieneman, what a great season, and I could see him picking off this weird, crappy.
How good of a season did Thieneman have? He had such a good He had such a good season.
Thiethan.
Sorry, he had such a good season that I can remember his two bad plays.
And one was
Oh,
last
yeah.
week. One was this
One-
week. When he
yeah,
got
Right.
beat
One
One
was
of
up.
this
them
last
was
week, and
last
one was
week.
2 weeks ago where
Yeah.
he did the same thing. He made two mistakes.
Right.
where
When you
you're like-
consider how many times he's been the
Oh my
only line of
gosh.
defense back
Exactly.
there.
He's
and
it.
only made two. Safeties make
Incredible.
mistakes. That happens. They're very visible mistakes when a DB gets beaten. And you can think of the 2 times it's happened,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
so
amazing.
good.
How durable he has been amazing. There's so many things. I am very impressed with him. As impressed as any. Well, you have to put him right there with Schweigert as a freshman.
he's gonna be so
As
good. in a
Any
couple
true
years.
freshman? Oh yeah, by his junior year, it's going to be incredible. I
Yeah.
mean,
Just a coach on the field.
exactly.
It's great having him out there. I mean, so cerebral.
Well, we've eclipsed 90 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
It's been fun. I do appreciate hoping together. Looking forward to great things and maybe seeing another win of versus Tennessee will be great tomorrow night. But for my co-host Jay and Anish, I am Boiler Dowd. I love you guys. Good night.